There are a lot of MMORPGs in 2023, and most of them have either been average or disappointing. Finding a good one can be quite a challenge as you have to invest both time and money to find out if it's really for you. But Phantasy Star Online 2 New Genesis attempts to draw you in by removing one of those factors. This game is a free-to-play MMORPG released back in August of 2020. Join us here at Game8 Information Station as we take a look if this game deserves your attention. The game starts off with two young girls surveying a small island when a meteor comes crashing down, carrying you, the protagonist, inside it. You wake up with amnesia, and you are then rescued by Aino, who is one of the girls roaming around the island beforehand. After emerging from the meteor, you are then taken through the tutorial and eventually reach Aelio Town, the local settlement across the island. Here, you will finish the tutorial by helping out the chief and townspeople when suddenly, the Dolls, a major faction in New Genesis, invade. After beating a handful of them, you are then forced to retreat as the Dolls completely ravage the village. Now that Aelio Town is no more, you take refuge in the central city where you are then recruited by the Arcs to fight against the Dolls. From there, you take on various quests to get stronger while aiding in the war against the Dolls. Eastern MMORPGs have a reputation for throwing a lot of options when it comes to character customization from the start, and Phantasy Star Online 2 fulfills that very well. You'll come to realize that there are a lot of cosmetic options and not just clothing, but body features as well. Compared to most MMOs where you only have a few options to choose from, in New Genesis you have sliders for almost everything like your nose, lips, ears, and many more. Aside from cosmetics, the world itself looks really cool, both in terms of visuals and how it's designed. The game's world is effective at keeping the player invested in progressing through the game, as there's always a point of interest that makes you go, what's over there? The enemies' designs are also quite varied and fit with the art style of the game. Combat is also a visual feast. While most MMORPGs reserve the more visually appealing animations for stronger abilities, New Genesis offers polished and over-the-top animations for every skill, making you feel like an OP anime protagonist. Gameplay-wise, the game is easy to understand. You take a quest, level up, get better gear, and repeat. It's your typical RPG gameplay loop, but where New Genesis differs is the combat system. It's fast, exciting, and as said before, the combat is a visual spectacle due to how over-the-top animations are. You can even opt to stay in the air for the entirety of the combat if you want to, which gives you more options when you approach enemies. Combat is relatively simple. Most enemies have weak points and it's always obvious where they are. Although you may look cool, it's not really a power fantasy, at least not in the earlier stages. In the early game, before you become an OP anime protag, your skills will be put to the test with fast-paced action as you maneuver around heavy-hitting enemies and aim for the weak points. Another notable difference between Phantasy Star 2 compared to other RPGs is the class system. Choosing a class locks you into 2 to 3 weapons. For example, the gunner is tied to dual guns and rifles. But later, you can select a secondary class which opens you up to using a wider variety of weapons. Classes being locked out of using other weapons may feel somewhat restrictive, but luckily, you can change your classes anytime for free. So, if you feel like the class you chose at the start may not be for you, don't worry, you can switch in and out of classes and experiment as much as you like. Phantasy Star Online 2 New Genesis is a great game for those looking to spend a few days on a game without breaking the bank. The visuals are over the top and fit well with the matching over the top combat. If you are looking for an MMORPG with fast-paced action that makes you feel like an anime badass, New Genesis might just be for you. What do you guys think about Phantasy Star 2 New Genesis? What are your favorite MMOs and what other games do you want us to cover? Sound off in the comments below. Till then, this is Game8 Information Station, signing off.